Okay, so let's talk about how to move chords around on the ukulele. I call them movable chords, and basically you can move any chord anywhere on the ukulele and get new chords. But the only limit you have is how many frets you have. So if you have, say, a chord like here, okay, you can't, you can go one lower. You can't go two lower because you run out of frets, because that's it, 0. So, like say a C chord, okay, would be 0, 0, 0, 3. You can't go any lower because the 3 becomes a 2, 1 less. So 3 minus 1 is 2. 0 minus 1 is actually -1. So you can't have negative number of frets. So that's really the only limit. Okay. Another thing to remember is the shape of the chord that you're playing. So in this case, an E minor. Okay, 4, 4, 3, 2. This shape is a minor chord. Okay, so if I move it up a fret, it's still a minor chord. It's not an E minor anymore, it becomes something else. We'll get to that in a second. But it's still a minor chord. You can't move side to side, okay, because the strings aren't perfectly equal tuning. We'll leave it at that. It's a little more complicated, but the frets, each fret is the next note. A half step is what it's called. So each fret is perfectly equal with the tuning. So 1 fret higher, 1 fret higher, 1 fret higher. It works. Moving side to side doesn't work. Okay, so you can only go up or down the neck with any shape. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know are the notes on the ukulele. Okay, and the easiest way to do that is just to know the notes that exist. Okay, and they are A sharp. I'll do sharps. We'll get to that in a second also. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and G sharp. So there's 12. The reason I said I'll go with sharps is because for every sharp, there's also a flat that's the same note. So if we take, say, the A string, okay, A sharp, B, C, okay, so C, B, 2nd fret, C was 3rd fret, 2nd fret, that was the A sharp, so A, 1 fret higher is sharp, A sharp, B, 1 fret lower is flat, B flat. So this note on the 1st fret on the A string is an A sharp or B flat. Same thing. Okay? So all the sharps and flats have 2 names. Okay, they're called enharmonic. It means that it's the exact same note. So A sharp and B flat, same note. Okay? So the other thing to remember is there are sharps and flats between all of the notes except for B and C and E and F. Okay? So B and C are right next to each other, B and C. And E and F are also right next to each other. So E, and F. Oh, yeah, sorry, I was on the wrong string. E and F. So E and F and B and C. Okay, so that's how we end up with A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E, F, because there's no sharp or flat between E and F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, and we're back to A again. So then we keep repeating A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat, D. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, it might be easier if you kind of write it out and kind of look at it and go, oh, okay, so A sharp or B flat, then B, then C, because B and C are together, then C sharp or D flat, then D. So if you see it just all sort of in a row on a piece of paper, that might be a little easier to kind of look at. Okay, but like I just did, it's all in a row on one string on the ukulele. Okay, so now what we do is we can go to the next string. Okay, the E string, and go E, F, because E and F is together, F sharp, G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, C, because B and C are together, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, and we're right back to E again. Okay? Then the same thing on the C string, C, D, E, F, G. So I'm just doing the naturals without the sharps or flats, because the sharps and flats are the ones in between. Okay? But same thing. So you would, ideally, you'll want to learn all of the notes on the ukulele. Okay, on the neck of the ukulele. So now we play a chord. So back to the E minor that I played a few minutes ago. Okay, if we look at it, okay, the notes that we're playing are E, G, and B. Those are the notes that make up the E minor chord. Okay, but the way I'm playing it, this fourth fret on the C string is an E. So E minor in my pinky is the root note. It's the E. Okay, that's all the root note is. So a C chord, the root note's a C. A G minor chord, the root note is a G. A D minor chord, the root note is a D. Pretty simple. Say D flat minor chord, the root note is a D flat. That's all that it is. Okay, so E, the root note's an E. Okay, so if we slide up one fret, that root note now becomes an F. So now the chord is F something. Okay, the root note F gives it sort of the first name of the chord. Okay, then the last name of the chord is the shape that we're playing, which it was the E minor shape. So now it's an F minor. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So if I play an E major, okay, which is usually just called an E chord, E major, and slide up one fret, what does it become? The first name, the root note, becomes an F. The last name of the chord, the shape we're playing is major, so it's now an F major chord. So that's an F. So E, F. F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Easy, right? So that's all there is to it. Okay? So you can move chords all around. So like, this is an E7. So 4, 4, 4, and then 5th fret on that last string. So E7, F7, F sharp 7, or G flat 7, sharp and flat. Okay, if we go back to the E7 and go down, okay, that's now a D sharp 7 or an E flat 7. D sharp and E flat, same note. Then a D7, then a D flat or C sharp 7. See? Pretty simple, right? Okay, so the only other issue is if we have chords that use some open strings. Okay, so I've been doing all chords where you're fretting, you have a finger down on every single string. Okay, and that makes it a little easier to move because, okay, if we say a C chord, excuse me, okay, and we want to move that, we already talked about we can't move down because how does 0 become a lower fret? It's not 0 is the end of the frets. Okay, but we could move up. So if we move up, that doesn't sound so good. That's a C. That's something else. Because what happened was we moved the 3rd fret up to 4. So 3 plus 1 is 4. But 0 stayed the same. And we can't do that. So 0 also has to move up to 1. So if this is a C, up 1 fret to a C sharp would be that. So I'm playing 1, 1, 1, and 4. One more fret up is a D. And that's a fairly normal D that people play. D sharp or E flat, E. So that's how you can move chords that have open strings. Okay, so that's an F. No, it isn't. That's an A. Okay, upper fret would be here. So I played the A and played up. But now those two open strings also have to come up. So if I play it like this and move up, I can use this finger to press down at the 1st fret. Okay, so what ends up happening is what I'm playing here is 2 frets 2, 1, 0, 0. I change it to 3, 2, 1, 1. So all of the frets went up 1 fret. Okay, so if this is an A, what is that chord? A sharp. So A sharp. Okay. What else could it be called besides A sharp? A B flat. So A major, A sharp major, or B flat major. Up one more, it's now a B major, a B chord. Pretty simple. So hopefully that explains how you can do this. So the steps are, first you have to know the notes on the ukulele, and that's just memorize the notes. The next thing that you need to do is know where the root note of the chord is. Okay, and that's simple enough. So like I played the A here, okay, and the A is there on that string, or right here also on the G. So A, if I move it up, making sure that I bring the zeros up too, the root note the same string and finger and everything, now it becomes an A sharp or B flat. Okay? So, you need to know the notes on the ukulele. You need to know where the root note of the chord is. And then when you move the chord, the root note now becomes the new first name. Okay? So as long as you don't change the shape of the chord, it stays the same last name. So E minor, F minor, F sharp minor, G minor. So it keeps the same chord shape, the same last name, minor. So that's, no matter where I play this shape, it's a minor chord. The root note changes because I'm moving it to different frets. So hopefully that makes sense. It's not too difficult. Know the notes on the ukulele, know where the root note is, and the new chord you're playing is the root note and first name, and the shape you're playing, the last name of the chord. Simple.